Quakecon is an annual convention held by ZeniMax Media, initially to celebrate the major franchises of id Software, specifically, if you couldn't guess, Quake. But the most exciting news that came out of Quakecon for me this year happens to be all about Fallout, and today we're going to be talking about the top 3 most exciting announcements we've heard from Bethesda since E3. I'm Alana, you're watching Button Bash. First things first, Fallout 4 is mixing up the specials and perks formulas, with your special stats being strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck having their own specific perks. Each stat has 10 perks, and the idea is that the more points you have in each stat, the deeper you'll be able to go. If you have 5 strength points, you'll be able to choose between 5 strength perks when you level up. This effectively gives the player 70 base perks to choose from, even if they are locked away based on your special choices, but there are regular perks too. Some new, some returning from previous games. Many of the perks can be upgraded, and ultimately the progression system provides the player with 275 individual perk choices. The leveling system has also been reorganized so that perks are all tied to your special stats instead of being tied to actual levels like in previous games. Having a particularly high special stat of any one thing will give players access to advanced perks from the get-go, rather than needing to level up to have access to advanced stuff. Oh, and important news, the strength stat will actually increase how much you can carry. And some good news for Android users. Fallout Shelter, the initially iOS-only game that Bethesda released at their E3 press conference, is finally coming to you guys on August 13th. The game will launch alongside a big new update that will, of course, also be coming to iOS. The update adds Mr. Handy to the game, the well-loved Fallout robot assistant. We don't yet know how exactly players will go about acquiring Mr. Handy, but it was revealed at Quakecon that he's a reward of some kind. Maybe in a lunchbox. Mr. Handy will move around your vault and auto-collect resources so you don't have to click rooms individually when things are ready, plus he can be sent out to explore the wasteland or be used to defend your vault from attackers. A few new enemies have been added into the mix too, including deathclaws and mole rats. Lastly, I thought I'd discuss something I just think is kind of a lovely insight into how the game is made, with a few news tidbits thrown in, but this is more of just a cool development insight than anything. It turns out Fallout 4's Dogmeat is actually physically based on the game's lead designer's dog, River, and that apparently involved a whole lot of dog action filming to get the best possible representation of a dog. River apparently spent a lot of time in the office during development so the team could kind of become familiar with dog behavior and animation, so that no matter what the character is doing, Dogmeat is also doing something natural or realistic for a dog too. Who'd have thought it was that much work? You'll meet Dogmeat early in the game, and he can also be sent into buildings or to explore areas for loot, even while you're doing something else. Makes sense, since Dogmeat won't actually be able to die. There are a total of 12 companions you'll be able to have while you're exploring the wasteland in Boston, including Preston Garvey, who totally happens to be one of my vault dwellers in Fallout Shelter, Piper, and Mr. Handy. You'll also be able to have romantic relationships with any of the human companions, no matter their sex or yours. If you don't want a companion at all, there's also a perk you can unlock for just that. I'm Alana, thanks for watching Button Bash.